So we ask for your advice.
How much should the church get involved in? Of course, that's a controversial thing. I think to understand the church's role in politics, we have to go back and first of all define what the relationship is between the state and the church, because there's a lot of mythological nonsense that goes on in our culture about that question. I hold the position that God has ordained both the church and the state, as Paul teaches us in Romans. And the state has a specific function to carry out, administrating the duties that God gives to it. And they are not the responsibilities that they're given to the church. I don't think it's the state's role to be doing evangelism or administering the sacraments and that sort of thing. The chief responsibility of the state, by the way, is to protect, maintain, and defend the sanctity of human life, and also to establish justice in the land. Now, historically, when the state fails to submit to God's authority in carrying out its responsibilities, it has been the church's call to exercise what we call prophetic criticism to the state. That is, the church calls the state not to be the church or to do the church's work, but calls the state to be the state. What has happened in our culture today with this mantra of separation of church and state, when you exegete that, what is really being said is the separation of the state from God. Our state has more or less declared its independence from God and claimed a certain autonomy by which they operate. And when any state does that, it's the task of the church and the people of God to call the state to task for doing that. That's where we start. And so it's certainly important for us to be involved and concerned for the general welfare of people and to help the state be the state.